All right, so real quick, I'm not gonna make this last forever because this video is probably gonna be fairly long. Back during harvest, I got invited by some of the guys at Wyckoff to come down and tour their Valparaiso production facility. Did not have a chance to do it until now, so that's what we're doing today. Kind of excited to see the difference because I obviously work at the largest seed corn production plant in the world, at least as far as I know, unless they build a bigger one since. And this is just a smaller, obviously not anywhere near on the scale. So I'm kind of curious to see see what kind of things are different, what kind of things are the same. Meet some of the guys. So yeah, that's basically what we got going. We're gonna head down to Valparaiso and see what they got going on down there. So I guess with no further ado, I'm gonna get on the road and we will catch you guys down at the plant. Well, I do believe we are here, and I'm actually running a shade bit ahead of schedule. I told them I'd be here at 9 their time, and it's 9:15 their time. So I guess I can figure out where I gotta go. It's literally like right at the farm. This is kind of neat. I think I gotta get turned around now. Let me figure out where I gotta go and we'll catch you guys here in a minute. Okay, so we're here. We're kind of underneath the tower, right? Right behind it?
We're just to the south of the tower.
But we're here with Jacob Wyckoff, and he's gonna kind of start us out here. Tell us a little bit about the family, a little bit about the business, kind of what they got going on here, a little bit of the backstory, and then he's going to give us a tour of the plant.
All right, well, we're happy to have you here. Glad you can come out and take a look at our facility. So I am a 4th generation of seedsman here at Wyckoff Hybrids. So my great-great-grandfather is the one who bought this farm ground, so it's been in the family for 5 generations. And my great-grandfather is the one who decided to start Wyckoff Hybrids. Hold on, I might have to restart that. I don't know, can you hear me over the sound of that?
Oh yeah.
All right. So my great-grandfather, Lewis Kenyon Wyckoff, he decided to start the seed business back in the 30s. Based on some professors at Purdue telling him that he wasn't smart enough to understand hybridized seed corn. And he was stubborn enough that he was going to do it anyway. So Wyckoff Hybrid started in 1932 from Lewis Kenyon. It was passed on to my grandfather and my great uncle, Jim and John. Jim passed away in the 90s. My great uncle John is still with us. He's in his 80s. Just lives down the road. Still actively involved in our operation. Even though he's retired, but as a farmer, what does retirement mean? But now my dad, Ken Wyckoff, and my uncle Chris Gates, who he married into the family, married my dad's sister. So. They're the 2 guys who are in charge. And then you got my cousin Matt Gates, Nate Gates, my brother Adam Wyckoff, and myself, who are currently running most of the operations under the tutelage of the 2 older guys. But yeah, this is our operation, and this is what keeps us busy all year long. Most of the seed that goes out in our bag was grown here and processed here and handled by a family member every step of the way.
I guess you want to tell them like how many acres you're running, a little bit of the field side of it.
So we are a commercial farm along with a seed farm. So on the seed side, we're running about 750 acres of seed, in which, like I said, all of it's planted here. We do all of the harvesting ourselves. We have a green sort building that we sort it, put it in bins, dry it, and then shell it all here. Basically, all the seed corn is grown within a 1/2 to 3/4 mile radius of where we're standing right now. And the soybeans, we're planting about 1,700 acres of seed soybeans. It's all within 10 miles of where we're sitting. But yeah, it's all produced by us with all produced on our ground that we control. We don't hire any of it out to growers. So yeah.
All right. I think that gives a good overview of what we got going on. So I guess if we want to start going through the plant.
Well, we'll start at the beginning of the process where we bring the corn in. So we got our receiving leg here. We got our next variety staged and ready to go, sitting here. It's been cleaned. So this goes 60-some feet up to unload into our 3 holding bins above our cleaner. A lot of stairs in this place, so you're gonna get your exercise. So from the receiving leg, comes into these 3 holding bins up here above the cleaner. The job of the cleaner is to do exactly what it's called. It uses screens to shake back and forth and air to... The air sucks out any foreign material like cob or any loose bees wings that are still on the corn. And then when it shakes over the screens, you got large screens on top that scalp the large kernels, and they come out here. And then as it goes down, it shakes over smaller sized screens that cut the really small kernels, any cracks, any fines that are in there, and those come out here and here. And then the cob material or anything else that's light enough to get sucked up by the air comes out here. But we'll fire it up so you can kind of see it moving.
So basically, it's like a big cleaning shoe on a combine.
Yeah. Without the header bringing in everything.
Just a little bit older version of what we got at work.
Yep.
So basically all your trash comes off the side and then your good seed comes out here.
Yep. There's all sorts of adjustments based on how fast you want to run the seed. You can change your air velocity so that if you got heavier material that you're trying to remove, you can change the amount of air. Yeah, it's all sorts of fine tuning so you're taking out the bad and you're not throwing out too much good when you're trying to take the bad out.
And then these are what your screens look like.
Yep. Obviously. So you got different types of screens for different types of crop. So we'll run corn, beans, and wheat through this cleaner. So your corn screens are all the rounds. Beans and wheat you'll use different herringbones on with a combination of a round screen. Just all depends on the size of the crop that you're running through it and what you're trying to remove. So, but from here it goes to the sizers upstairs, and we'll take a look at that when we get up there. So we're not running up and down, because from the time the corn enters the tower to the time it gets packaged, it goes up and down a couple times. So I'll explain what's going on right here, and then we'll go take a look upstairs. But anyway, from when it exits the cleaner, goes through another elevator leg upstairs to our sizers, which split it into your large rounds, large flats, medium rounds, medium flats. And for those of you who might not know, an ear of corn, the way when you have a full ear of corn, the butt kernels are typically large rounds. Everything in the middle is generally flat kernels, and we'll get you some examples of flats versus rounds. And then up towards the end, you're going to be looking at medium flats to medium rounds. And typically you separate that for ease of planting, so that it uniformly works in different types of planters, because not everyone has a vacuum controlled planter that can plant basically anything. But anyway, so from the sizers, the corn is held in these bins here that are the different grades of the corn, so flats and rounds. Comes down here to what we call the gravity. The gravity uses, gravity uses air and the shaking process of the table to move the heavy corn. Heavy corn moves towards the top. There's a screen in here with little steps on it. So as the corn shakes and the air blows through it, the heavier corn gets caught in those steps and is moved up towards the top and discharges here. So this is where the good corn comes out. And the lighter corn, since the table is tipped like this, as it's shaking and the air's lifting the lighter corn, which is usually the corn you want to get rid of, the corn you're trying to get rid of floats on top on the top here, and it shakes to the back because of the way it's tipped. Then you got these little gates here that you can adjust how much you're cutting off the top, and then that all flows into a discard auger that flows out of here. But then you got right here, so on the good seed discharge side, you can adjust. This is all really good seed that you don't have to worry about. Everything that falls in this side, and the corn that falls right here, for the most part, is good, but it might still have some damaged kernels in it. So it falls down into a smaller gravity table in which you can cut and get the rest of the damaged corn out of it without having to throw too much of good corn away. Because as we all know, if you farm, a bag of seed corn is expensive, and the more you throw away, the more money we're throwing away. And fire up the gravity here. Right here we got our bagging line, which they're getting ready to set up and start bagging. But this is our bagger, so you got the ability to mix your refuge corn with your main component. There are two sets of scales up there with vibratory trays that weigh it out. They hit their weights, it trips, it all dumps, lands in a bag that gets held up there. It's once the bag's full, it drops onto this V-belt here, which carries it into the sewing head after we put a tag on it. Goes through the sewing head, obviously closes the bag up, comes through a printer head, which puts all the information of what is in the bag on the actual bag itself. In case the tag gets ripped off, you know what you have. Then it comes here to our kicker and our incline belt, which takes it out to the pallet where it gets stacked and wrapped and sent out to the warehouse. But they're going to be starting up here in a second, so let's take a look at that. Good. So we're up at the top of the tower now. We'll kind of take you through what was going on downstairs and piece in the operations up here. But from the cleaner downstairs, corn comes up through an elevator leg. One of these guys, it's got buckets in there that carries it up here. Goes to that top sizer, which we can go up there and look at in a second, but that sizer up there splits the seed into large and small. So it's running it over it's a screen like this, but it's got round holes like this in there. And that splits it out into the large and small. So your large seed comes down here. That's what doesn't fall through the screen. And then this is the stuff that falls through the screen, which is your small seed. So in here, you got these drums that have slots in them. And that'll split it into the rounds and flats. The rounds get discharged on that side, and the flats fall through the screens and come out on these ends. The same goes for that. So you got large rounds, large flats, and then these go into the bins that were above the gravity table. So then after it runs through the gravity, it comes back up through this leg and it goes to our length graders, which we'll go up there and take a look at those. After the gravity comes the length graders. These are, there's 4 of them here. These are drums that have little dimples in them that as they run around, they carry out the short kernels and a lot of the bees wings. It cleans them up. The tumbling action tends to polish the corn and just makes it look nice. You can make it more of a uniform product by getting the shorter seeds out of there. And then after it runs through the length graders, goes down into these holding bins, which then will go through another elevator that brings it back up here and goes through the treater, which is down there. And treater, we apply our treatment to protect the seed from insects and funguses when it's planted in the spring, and gets it off to a good start.
Now, we don't have length graders. We got rid of them before I started. So what you call the shorts, those are going to be trash.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
They're probably still viable kernels, but you can get a few more of the less than perfect seeds out of there. Sometimes they're lighter, shorter, little shoe pegs.
Which probably explains why I had an easier time setting my planter up with your seed than I did when I was...
So when these are running, typically you can notice the difference between, or a big difference between what's coming off of the discard and what's coming off of the good side, because they're tiny shoe peg stuff that wasn't quite different enough in weight and size for the gravity to get out, but this just takes that last little bit out that makes it a nice uniform looking seed, and so that guys have an easier time planning and setting their planter for. But I can step down and we can fire these up and take a look at them running.
You're not gonna make a mess this time, are you?
No. I don't run that equipment downstairs. That wasn't my fault.
So this is discard and this is good, or this is good?
We're running large rounds right now, so that's the good stuff.
That's almost a flat.
Yeah. So it takes out those ones that aren't uniform for everything else. Yeah, we can fire up the sizes so you can see what they look like. So they just sit there, rotate, pouring tumbles through it. This beater up here helps keep the kernels from getting stuck in there and plugging it up, and so they can continue to fall through. Yeah, from the length graders, it goes down and into those holding bins, like I said, and then it comes back up here to our treater. Treater's nothing fancy. You can spend $100,000 on an expensive one that has all the electronics in the world. This one we ran for a long time, and it is accurate, puts it on good, and I feel like it does a better job coating than a lot of the newer ones. So what happens is you got all your different ingredients here, you mix it, you weigh it out on the scale over there, you put it in this holding tank, then you got a pump that pumps it up there to you got a holding reservoir here, so that the pump pump keeps the level so full, and it overflows into a discharge here that goes back to the holding tank. And then as the corn comes down, it trips this back and forth. And every time it trips, it dumps a cup of treatment in there so that it's a measured out amount of treatment going to a specific weight that's in here as it trips. And then from there, it discharges down here where the corn hits the treatment. The treatment flows through this pipe after it's been dumped, comes down there. And this drum sits here and sits there and rolls like that. And we're just in the middle of switching varieties, so I need to clean the drum out, but the corn sits there and rolls, it's going through there, and depending on what trait we're running, the corn will either be red, purple, or green, which are red are our conventionals, which don't have any traits. Purple is just straight Roundup, and our green are our double pros and our smart stacks. But so from there, after it gets treated and looking nice, it goes into these holding bins below us, which is what sits above the bagger, and that's what we just looked at. So it goes from there to the bagger, and then onto sit in the warehouse until springtime.
All right, so here we are back at the farm. That was a good way to spend the day. To start off, I'd like to thank Brian, who is the sales guy who set this whole thing up. I did not ask to do this. They literally asked me to do this. This was not my idea. So I'd like to thank Brian for getting everything set up. He's one of their sales reps. And I'd like to thank Jacob Wyckoff for taking the time out of his day to show us around the plant. And the whole Wyckoff family that I met today for welcoming me onto the farm there and taking the time to talk to me. They were a great bunch of folks. Literally just talk to you like a bunch of farmers would talk to you. It's not like they were uppity or anything, which they have every right to be if they wanted to. They are very, very successful at what they do. Very professional about it. Just listening to those guys talk about what they have going on there, they care more about a single kernel of corn than, well, I work for DeKalb, Bayer, and I will tell you right now that from what I know from working for a large seed company like that, well, Bayer's not even a seed company. They're a pharmaceutical company that bought a seed company, but that's a different story. What I can tell you from what I know from working for Bayer and DeKalb, those guys down there care more for a single kernel of corn that they put through that facility because it's got their name on it. That is their baby. They care more for a single kernel of corn down there than Bayer cares for the entire crop of DeKalb seed. I can tell you that right now. I know from working for them. Just, you can tell that with the way they talk about it, the pride they have in it, that, I mean, literally, their name is slapped on it. And I think they just got themselves a customer for life. And they are not paying me to say any of this. They actually, when we got done down there, they actually offered to cut me a good rate on seed for doing this for them, and I turned it down. I told them no. And the reason I did that is because you have the big farming channels that have shit getting thrown at them all the time. Equipment companies dropping off stuff for them to demo and then leaving it all season for them to play with, or giving them tires to run. Just these big channels are getting all this stuff thrown at them for free just so that they can talk about it and show it off and say, ooh, look how great this is. Whether or not it actually is good or not, they're not going to say anything they're getting is a piece of shit because they're having it given to them. I am not here to be paid advertising for anybody or anything. If I'm going to promote something, it is because I use it, I believe in it, I like I like it. So, like I say, I turned them down because I am not here to be a paid advertiser for anybody or anything. If I'm using Wyckoff and I'm talking about their seed and I'm promoting them on my own beliefs and feelings because I like what they are doing. I like the company. In my mind, as far as agriculture goes, if we want to save what we have left of it, we need to start supporting the little companies like that because they do use legacy Monsanto, now Bayer genetics. Let you in on a little secret. Every seed company out there, DeKalb, Pioneer, Mycogen, LG, AgriGold, Bex, all of them use Monsanto genetics in one form or another. DeKalb, they use Pioneer genetics. The seed company is, the best way to put it, is one big clusterfuck. Everybody uses everybody's everything. Everybody, Pioneer uses Bayer genetics. Bayer uses DuPont chemicals, which DuPont is the parent company of Pioneer and Mycogen, and I'm sure some other companies. So you can't judge a company based on their genetics because everybody uses everybody's genetics. What I like about Wyckoff is they are legit a family business. It's not like the family is running the company. Down there, the family is growing the seed, processing it, and packaging it. They have 3 guys that work for them, 2 part-time and 1 full-time. The family literally does everything else in that building. It is all Wyckoff family members that run that place. So it's not like Bex, where the Bex family is sitting up in the front office running the place and they have employees doing it. It is literally Wyckoff family members doing everything down there, and I think that is amazing. And like I say, they just got themselves, until they decide to get out of seed, I think they just got themselves a customer for life through me, because I went down there, didn't know them from Adam. They treated me like I was one of their family. It was an awesome experience down there. And like I say, they offered to kind of sponsor the farm here and give me some free seed and cut me a good rate and stuff. And I flat turned them down and said, don't do it. That's not why I did this. That's not what I want to do. I will never do that for anybody. But I am sitting here talking about them or promoting them because I like it. I like them. They're just... Farmers are some of the most hard people to get to change their ways. And I'm sitting here telling you, if you plant what I call... Every other industry's got the big 3. Seed has the big 2. You got, most guys are planting DeKalb, or most guys are planting Pioneer, and then everybody else is fighting over the scraps. If you're planting one of them, I don't like DeKalb because DeKalb is now owned by Bayer. Bayer is a pharmaceutical company. We do not need a pharmaceutical company being any part of our food supply chain. I don't like that, hate it. And right now in the world, between the world governments and the pharmaceutical companies, they have this world so screwed up. That's just, no. I don't like the fact that we have a pharmaceutical company, and it's not just corn. They have beans, they have cotton, they have wheat. All that stuff is owned by a pharmaceutical company. Is that really what you want? I'm just saying. That's my opinion. You can form your own. And then you got Pioneer and Mycogen that are owned by Dow, which is a chemical company, which to me isn't as bad as a pharmaceutical company, but still, do you really want a chemical company owned by or in charge of part of our food supply chain? I don't know. The genetics thing, you can't get past. A company like them, they do not have the capital. It takes a lot of capital, a lot of time to get into having or creating your own genetics. And even at that point, this day and age, because we've gone so far down the line of hybridization in seed corn, chances are, even if you got into creating your own genetics, you're starting off with the base genetics of somebody else. So it's damn near impossible unless you started out with a land race variety of seed corn that has not been altered in any way, shape, or form, which almost does not exist in this time because we've altered crops so far down the line, chances are you're always going to have Bayer or Dow or somebody else's genetics as a base starting point. So, like I said, you can't judge a company on whose genetics they use anymore because that's just the way the seed industry is. So I'm just putting this out there. I highly recommend you look Wyckoff up, see what they're all about, try a couple bags. If you like it, give them a shot. Those are the kind of guys that I really want to see succeed. And because they are little guys, they also understand the little guys like me, and they understand that not everybody's farming 10, 20, 30,000 acres. So, yeah. But just because I turned them down on sponsoring the farm here with some seed doesn't mean they didn't give me some shit. But we got to go up in the shop to look at that because I wasn't going to bring it down here. So we'll catch you up in the shop.
Okay, so like I said, just because I turned down free seed doesn't mean that I wasn't completely opposed to taking some cool free shit. So what we got here, this is one of the stickers that they used to put on their grain trucks. Never been on anything, obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be here. I forgot to ask them what year it's from, but it's definitely nothing new. So that's neat. I think I'm going to take this back to, when I get done here, I'm probably going to take this back to Granddad because he's got all the woodworking stuff and have him make me a frame for it so it stays flat. Because the problem with stickers is, because I'm obviously not going to hang it on a wall or anything, so I don't want to poke holes in it. The problem with stickers is, if you can't find a place to leave them perfectly flat, they start to curl. So if I get it in a frame, then it'll stay flat and shiny. So that's cool. And then they gave me some of these bags. These are not reproduction bags. This isn't like this is a novelty thing. These are legit, like, 1950s burlap Wyckoffs seed corn bags. They're damn near perfect. They got a couple little mildew spots in them from storage, but I mean, you will probably struggle to find burlap seed bags of any brand in this good a shape unless you kept them in a dry spot since you bought the corn. But I got three of those, and I just so happened when I laid this stuff out saw SEMMES, semis, how do you pronounce that, bags. Memphis. Must come out of Tennessee, I take it. It's the only Memphis I can think of. So that's cool. And then this hat I had got when I got my seed, and then they gave me these two hats. Now, I'm going to do something here that I have never done before, and I was thinking about how to do it on the way home from down there. I got 3 of these burlap sacks. 2 of them are mine. That's for sure. And I got 3 hats. 2 of them are mine. That's for sure. The 3rd bag and one of these hats. Everybody that leaves a comment on this video is going to get thrown in to a hat. Not a literal hat. I'll find some sort of deal on the internet I can plug all your usernames into, and we'll assign you a number, and we'll throw that into a random number generator, and anybody that leaves a comment on this video between now and, let's say, Christmas Day will get thrown in, and I'm going to pull one of your names randomly, and I'll give you one of these seed bags and your choice of one of these hats. So we got a black mesh back hat, a navy blue with a tan mesh back hat, and then this solid. So, like I say, leave a comment down below. It's got to be something good. You can't just say one word or something stupid like that. So leave a comment down below between now and Christmas Day. And then I'm thinking New Year's Day, I should have time. So on New Year's Day, I'll do another short video where we draw a name, and I'll give you one of these seed bags, and I'll give you the chance to pick which one of these hats you want. I mean, I guess if you really want me to sign something or want something like that, I guess I could do that too, but this is really just about this stuff, not me. So, like I say, comment down below, enter it in a drawing, you're going to get a seed bag, and pick one of these hats. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. We'll see how well it works out. If it works out, we might try to do something else in the future. So, anyway, like I say, I'd like to thank all the Wyckoffs and their sales staff and everybody for letting me come down and creep around their plant and check things out. Like I say, I am not doing this. They are not paying me to say any of this. This is all on me. I'm here to represent agriculture, to do my best to represent agriculture for how it really works. I'm here to represent the average guy, and the average farmer that's not on YouTube is not getting free shit thrown at him left and right. If we want to go demo a piece of equipment, we got to go talk to the dealer, and they're going to say, okay, we'll bring it out to you for a couple hours on a Friday afternoon, and when you're done, we're taking it back. It's not like they get to use it for a whole season. And if we get a free bag of corn, it's because we bought X amount of dollars worth, so they threw a free bag in just because we spent so much money that they didn't lose any money on it. So I'm here to represent the little guy, and the little guy is not getting any free shit for talking about anything. So, like I say, check out Wyckoff. Give these guys a chance. It's time that we start letting the little guys get some big wins. So, anyway, I'm gonna go in and start getting this video put together. So, hopefully it turns out good. I am not in any way, shape, or form set up to do videos like this. My camera equipment is not, well, all I have is a GoPro and a mount. I'm not really set up for doing interview type videos like this. Jacob was nervous about doing this. I don't know if you could see it on camera. And I was nervous about doing this because I'd never done anything like this before. And we both apologized that we weren't able to run corn through all of the equipment. They were right in the middle of switching hybrids, so they didn't really have corn to run through the entire tower system. But it was honestly easier to go through and dry run the stuff and show you how it works, because you could actually hear us talking. Anybody that's ever been around seed handling equipment, especially in an enclosed area, knows that if we'd have fired that place up, even if we had mics, you'd have never heard a single word we said. It's that loud in there. So, I guess if there are any questions about anything you saw today, leave those below. And I'm sure because those few of those guys down there at the plant watch the videos, so I'm sure if they see any questions that they can answer, I'm sure they'll answer them for you down below. And if there's anything else that anybody has, when we do the drawing video, I will kind of do a walkthrough of kind of, because of the way a processing tower works. It's very, very hard without doing a bunch of up and down and up and down and up and down. And I could have done it with a bunch of video editing, but the way you record it makes it kind of hard. I mean, I shouldn't say it makes it kind of, not make it kind of hard, but it doesn't flow as good if you do a bunch of editing and try to put stuff in order. So, if there are any questions about exactly what you saw, if there's any interest when we do the drawing video, I will kind of, because I work at a seed corn plant and basically everything I saw there was very familiar, I can kind of take you through as far as when corn, obviously I'll be me talking, but I can take you through from bringing it in from the field all the way through until you treat it and bag it out, and kind of give you a step-by-step and explain some of the equipment that you saw. A couple of those companies that make that equipment have videos on YouTube, so I might try to find some videos factory videos of some of that equipment that you saw and link it down in the description, and you will be able to see like cartoon cutaways of the stuff running and see how it works and some of the principles behind it. So if you're interested in learning any of that, I'll do what I can to find some links to some videos and put those down below. I'll link Wyckoffs down below. So yeah, there's my pitch for you. Unpaid. That was all on me. I'm not even bullshitting you. If I was going to bullshit you, I'd come up with a better lie than that. So anyway, I guess that's it for this one, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Hope you enjoyed it, because I had a lot of fun making it.